Serving to ground.
It's looking very good today, Rafael Nadal. It's a different Nadal for me, the one we've seen his first couple of matches this week.
Yeah, that opening game was a little shaky, wasn't it? Didn't quite find his range, but since then he's been outstanding.
It's just relentless, isn't it?
I'm just thinking how tough it is for Monfils out there at the moment. He spent a couple of months on the sideline, and this is what he's been missing. He's been forced to play so deep behind his own baseline. And we know he's a phenomenal athlete. He can get so many balls back in play, but even he's struggling to stay in the rally with Nadal.
Reminds me of the Nadal I watched in Monte Carlo last year. He went through that tournament. He dropped only maybe 13, 14 games all week, and he looks like that kind of player again today.
Yeah, definitely playing some of his best tennis at the moment. Wonderful use of that slice serve there in order to open up the court. He's definitely taken it up a gear today.
Hitting the forehand with venom.
And if ever get the opportunity to watch Nadal practice, then I urge you to do so, because he hits his forehand twice as hard in practice than he does in a match. But I think he does it deliberately so that he really gets the feeling of hitting through the ball and generating a lot of racket head speed. And then when he gets on the match course, and it's slightly easy to control because he's not quite hitting it as hard and as flat, but ferocious on the practice court. Carlos Moya's in the crowd today. Of course, those guys are good buddies, but he practiced with Moya before the final in Miami, and Moya could get a ball back in play.
5 in a row for the world number one. It's total domination right now.
And I think if you're a fan, obviously you want the match to be competitive, but I don't think you mind in the slightest if Nadal's playing this well, because he's putting on a masterclass out there at the moment.
Rare breather for Monfils. 2 cheap points. Oh, it's just too good.
Didn't drop the ball that short.
Relatively deep, wasn't it? I was just about to say.
It's amazing. That's why there was a wry smile, I think, on the face of the Frenchman there, because there wasn't a lot wrong with his forehand. Look, he's got height, he's got depth, he's got spin on the ball, and all to no avail. That's two now. That was embarrassing. You could tell with the body language there that he doesn't know where to look. That was supposed to be a little drop shot. He normally hits that one well.
Well, at last, something to smile about if you're a Gael Monfils fan. He's got another game on the board. Still a long way back in this first set, though. Nadal in total control. He sits down, still with 2 breaks of serve and with a 5-2 lead.
Yeah, it's amazing, really, that he has played as well as he has in the last 5 games, but just the feel on the drop shot has deserted him completely. Seen a couple of horrors, but won't worry him too much, because overall he's been able to strike the ball very sweetly indeed. It's been tough for Monfils, and that's what we talked about at the beginning of the match. He hasn't played the best players in the world on very many occasions so far this season, so this is the sternest test of them all, and in this opening set so far has been found wanting.
So it's been a quick fire set so far, 29 minutes. Nadal just a game away from this opening set.
Seems to be able to do anything with that forehand at the moment. Again, he was in a tough position there, Nadal, well back behind his own baseline, still able to hit a winner. Phenomenal.
And another.
This one, though, just slightly easier. The return was just a little shorter, so plenty of options available to the Spaniard. It's a pattern of play that he loves to use. A little change up, this time going up the tee as opposed to out wide. Just surprised Monfils a little bit. You can hear the players' feet slipping and sliding around the ball. Court's dried out a little bit now, it's playing a little quicker. So this aggressive tennis of Nadal's working extremely well.
3 set points. he grabs the first, and appropriately, it's with yet another monster forehand. That's the shot that's done the damage so far today. It's been one-way traffic in this opening set. Nadal takes it 6-2.
Yeah, phenomenal set of tennis, really. Couldn't have wished for any more, and it's strange because the opening game was poor. Couldn't really find his range, made a fistful of unforced errors, but thereafter was absolutely phenomenal. Won the vast majority of points on serve, and that allowed him to then try and dominate when returning as well. Monfils got a high percentage of first serves in, 81%, but pretty ineffective because Nadal, of course, can neutralise so well with the return. And, the Spaniard didn't offer up a single breakpoint opportunity for the Frenchman. The Spaniard utterly dominant with the forehand and plenty of winners. It's great footwork, and in the end, absolutely no chance for Monfils. Thoroughly one-sided affair so far. Nadal wrapping up the opening set in double quick time, as far as he's concerned, in just 33 minutes. Phenomenal effort from Monfils. That's how hard he has to work in order to win a single point this afternoon against Nadal. Tremendous dexterity, phenomenal athleticism, and appreciated by the vast majority of fans here. He's not adverse to taking a tumble in order to try and win the point. We've seen him dive plenty of times on clay and hard courts, let alone the grass. An intelligent lob of Nadal's there over the backhand side. Just lost his footing a little bit, having hit the shot. Didn't look particularly good, but got the job done. That's the most important thing sometimes. Taste of his own medicine there. Lovely feel on that little lob. As soon as he hit the drop shot, he knew exactly what shot he wanted to play afterwards. So he moved up the court. He was in a good position. That takes time away from Nadal, who did well to get the backhand volley in play. No chance to respond there. Lovely selection of shots from the Frenchman. It's not a bad idea to throw in the occasional drop shot because it brings Nadal out of his comfort zone from behind the baseline.
Decent start for the Frenchman. Comes through the opening game.
Served first in the opening set, held initially before things started to go from bad to worse as far as he was concerned. So a chance to start building again here in a second. And even if he doesn't harbour any thoughts of winning the match at the moment, he'll want to perform a little better, get a few more games in this second set, at least challenge Nadal in the latter stages of the set, make it a little more competitive, just to help build his confidence going into the next few weeks of events in the run-up to the French Open. Ball just a little deeper than that, if at all possible. It means height over the net, means top spin. Drop it short at your peril. Another phenomenal forehand from Nadal, and Monfils just moving a little gingerly on one of his ankles there.
He was deep in conversation with his coach, wasn't he? Just before the start of that last game, Roger Rashid, he's sitting down in that corner. Of course, they're not allowed to talk tactics or pass on any kind of advice.
So what were they talking about?
Well, you would see.
Phenomenal efforts from that deep in the court. That's why it's difficult. I suggested earlier that you've got to try and play all court tennis against Nadal and come in occasionally, but he can't approach much better than that. That's the thanks he got.
Going back to their conversation, you'd assume they were maybe talking about his physical condition, particularly since all his injury problems. He's fiddling about with his shoe once again. Another great Spaniard, Carlos Moya, in the front row today. Seated next to him is Albert Costa, the tournament director here, and Davis Cup captain.
Yeah, that's an interesting one as well, isn't it? Because Moya, of course, was influential when Nadal was a young teenager, when he first started to break through onto the tour, and Albert Costa, the current Davis Cup captain. And I read with interest that the United States will be allowed to use the court surface that they nominated for their Davis Cup quarter-final tie after Wimbledon. It's good stuff. The Spaniards had initially suggested that they shouldn't be allowed to use that particular court surface. A very quick, hard court is what they're going to play on in Texas, because they feel that's Nadal's weakest surface. There was talk of playing on grass, but of course he's champion of Wimbledon a couple of times over, so they feel fast, hard courts the best chance of getting the better of him. Of course, that happens to be Roddick's favourite surface as well, and most of the other American players, like Fish, of course, did so well in Miami, and Big John Isner, they can perform well on that surface.
Nadal was talking about it yesterday in his press conference. He said Tokyo, the hard court there, is the fastest court he's played on, but he won that event, so he's still pretty useful on that surface.
Not bad, is he? On any surface, really. Yeah, it is a quick one in Tokyo. Champion there last year, of course.
I guess it's the rest of the Spanish team that might struggle on that kind of court.
Yeah, the Bryans like a quick hard court as well, don't they? Doubles.
Carlos Moira, former champion here, 2003. He lifted the trophy. One of 13 Spaniards to have won here. First held in 1953. Similar game to the stage he lost to serve in the opening set, isn't it? Well up in the game, all of a sudden staring down a break point. Ridiculous exhibition stuff.
A phenomenal feel from Nadal. Just that subtle flick of the wrist, enough to sell Monfils, the dummy. Good dig there as well. That was telegraphed a little bit. Nadal was quick to move up the court, and he had options here. Most would have expected him to go down the line. But on that occasion, just surprising everybody, including Monfils. What a shot that was.
Brought up another break point. Yeah, just a good call. No arguments from the Frenchman. And Nadal's done it again. He's turned a pretty bad situation in that game into a break of serve. Exactly the same stage that he broke through in the opening set. world number one, sits down with a 2-1 lead.